This is Monday, August 1st, and it's time for the weekly weather briefing for the Inland Northwest from the National Weather Service in Spokane. The top three things you need to know for this week. First, the main weather day will be Tuesday, as a strong cold front moves through the region, arriving during the morning hours, followed by windy conditions for the afternoon and evening. Humidity values will be dry enough that the lowlands that a fire weather watch is in effect. To the north, the cold front will also increase the chances of showers and wet thunderstorms near the Canadian border. After this system exits, expect drier and warmer weather with less wind for the rest of the work week. Seasonal warm and dry weather will persist into the weekend with the potential for mountain thunderstorms across North Idaho and extreme eastern Washington. Here's the big picture, a satellite weather map that displays the weather features for the upcoming week. The inland Northwest is under an area of high pressure today with light winds, seasonal temperatures, and dry conditions. The area of low pressure off the Washington coast will track across northern Washington and North Idaho Tuesday and Tuesday night, pushing a strong cold front through the region. This will kick up the winds and lead to thunderstorms across the north. Then the circulation that is over the Aleutians currently is expected to track across British Columbia by the weekend. This feature will help generate the moist southwest flow for thunderstorms across North Idaho and the mountains of northeastern Washington. The current highlights right now include a fire weather watch for low relative humidity and gusty winds. That's in effect for Tuesday afternoon and evening. It covers much of the Columbia Basin, parts of the Spokane area, and the Palouse. Updates will be made later today regarding this watch and the potential red flag warning. Confidence has increased that the strong cold front that will pass through the region will produce strong wind gusts. There is some chance of blowing dust with this as well. These gusty winds will continue into Tuesday evening, and these winds will range from 35 to 45 miles an hour. The best chance for the strongest winds in excess of 40 miles an hour would be around the Kittitas Valley and in the southern Palouse to the Blue Mountains. These winds, coupled with the low humidity values, will raise concerns on increased fire spread on the current and potentially new wildfires. Behind the cold front, an upper area of low pressure will track across northern Washington and North Idaho. Isolated thunderstorms will be possible over the higher terrain during the afternoon and evening hours. These storms are capable of producing brief heavy rain, some small hail, and lightning. At this time, the flash flood risk appears to be low given the widely scattered nature of these storms. It also looks like our most vulnerable burn scar areas in Chelan and Okanagan counties should be missed by these storms. Meanwhile, the windy conditions will cause some blowing dust across the Columbia Basin. After the area of low pressure exits the region on Wednesday, expect a warming and drying trend. Temperatures will be reaching the 90s by the end of the week, followed by more seasonal temperatures in the 80s for the weekend. A moist southwest flow aloft will bring a threat of thunderstorms to extreme eastern Washington and North Idaho by the weekend. Some convection could arrive as early as Friday night for the Blue Mountains. The main impacts from these storms will be occasional lightning, gusty winds, and the potential for brief downpours. Also, there's the possibility of gusty gap winds in the Cascade Valleys and across the Columbia Basin for the weekend. So the 8 to 14-day outlook shows us no big heat waves are in sight for our area. All the heat will be to the south and east. A broad area of low pressure will remain fixed over the Pacific Northwest, keeping temperatures near or a little below seasonal normals. Precipitation chances will persist, but will be minor and mainly across the mountains in the form of thunderstorms. The impacts for this week will be focused on Tuesday. The strong cold frontal passage will lead to windy conditions, causing reduced visibilities due to blowing dust and or smoke, increased spread of area wildfires, and some possible traffic difficulties in high-profile vehicles. Confidence on the windy conditions are moderate to high. The threat of thunderstorms across the Canadian border on Tuesday may lead to frequent lightning, some gusty winds, and locally heavy rain. The confidence on this is moderate to low. An additional risk of thunderstorms will arrive late Friday night into the weekend for the Blue Mountains, North Idaho, and northeastern Washington. Well, that's it for our weekly weather briefing. Thank you again for joining, and please visit us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.